Alright, so this is the continuation from the last video. I'm not going to keep doing this over and over and over again. That's the one damn thing I'm not going to do. I'm not doing this over and over and over and over again. Alright, if the internet decides to go off the moment I decide to come online, I'll wait and then I'll do it again. So I spoke with regards to commandments. All the video game commandments has been addressed. And then I spoke with regards to architectural stuff, but then it cut off the video during that period. Um, which is okay. So now I'm going to speak with regards to core architectural rules and patterns with FSM, because that's what they're called, FSM. Basically, finite state of your characters. Basically, finite state machine. Finite state machine is your core character and what represents your core character's behavior with regards to jumping, with regards to running, with regards to staying in place, with regards to command for you input, with regards to your controller to move forward and to move backwards. All those things for the FSM has been addressed, and in one with regards to delay, with regards to the gun swapping and stuff of FSM with the weapon reel and the character movement of swinging things, those have been addressed, which I ducked the game a point for regards to everything. Um, yeah, so that has been addressed as well, the FSM. Also, what has been addressed is, let's see, freaking, because my computer's acting like a bitch, I have to keep pausing with regards to my cell phone. Um, ensure clarity to become easier to see what the character is doing. So all those have been addressed, and then there's favor composition over inherency. Instead of creating a deep, rigid class hierarchy, use composition to build character behavior. Okay, modular component break down a character's capability into small, self-contained components. For example, movement components, attack components. Oh, okay. So basically, break down all the basic primaries into secondaries. Certain additional components attached to the character. So not just related to movement with regards to movement speed, but also related towards actions taken when the character is doing certain things within the body of their animation. However, Doom doesn't have like an idle state where he's doing something in his idle state. He only has an idle state when you're on the main menu and he's doing something in this idle state. Typically, when you're in idle state like where I am right now, all he's doing is holding the damn gun and the gun is moving back and forth in his idle state. So he stays there. So I got a dock a point from the game for that because all he does is stand there all the damn time. He doesn't have an idle state where it's trying to tell you, hey, get back to the game. Otherwise, I'll do something else. So they didn't include that into the game. So is that really a factor that's needed in the game? Well, idle state is needed in most modern games anyway. So to not have one is not really needed, but at the same time is kind of silly to have them look real. I'm only going to take a half point away from the game. So I gave it to an 8.85. And I'll just take another 5 points on, so I'm right back down to 8.8. So that's that. And I'm trying to think of other things as well with regards to isolated game logic from visuals. So there is one thing that I was concerned about with regards to this character. I was concerned about things sticking to the character's legs and arms, and like if the gun goes through the character's hand, or like if, like say, okay, So that's not present. That's not present in the game. This sword, basically, anything that belongs to the Doom guy, anything that's his, doesn't get affected by his weapons, other than things that are meant to use for explosion. But his sword, there's no impact. If you notice, there's debris with regards to the impact that he's shooting with regards to the item itself, but there's no collision with regards to damage of the world itself. So even though this is the Fortress of Solitude and he's doing this as a test, it doesn't show that the fortress is repairing the damaged metal here, or that there's cracked in the metal with regards to using a launcher or anything else. Like, it stays there for a while, but then it disappears over time. It doesn't remain, and there's no state of repair, like any type of voice from any command that says repairing things. Otherwise, it would have to be repaired in the game over a period of time, but it repairs itself very fast. So I'm gonna dock a point from the game for that, half a point for the game for that, especially with the sword. There's no, it goes straight through metal objects, which means the sword is specifically designed to only kill demons, and it's basically like an invisible sword, a light sword. It doesn't hit anything other than perhaps design. Maybe it's like a curse sword. It's not really there, it's only there in sight, but not there in force unless whatever it's hitting is a physical person or not physical person. I'm giving the game credit for this, and there's no guarantee that that's the case. But I'm also docking a point from that, because that should also be the case. If he hits something with his sword, there should be some type of impact with regards to it, or sure of light blazing on it, or heat. It's a heat sensor sword, so there's none of that in the game. So I got to dock a half point away from the game for this. So now I'm at an 8.75 with regards to the game. So yeah, FSP, finite state machine. Now let's see what else. Game logic, movement component, manage the character's speed and position independent of how it's in. Okay, so from a game logic point of view, Doom is fine. I've analyzed movement with regards to his position and regards to the animation in the game. I did this for Inotria. With regards, does he feel like he's moving forward when he's walking, or does the world feel like it's moving towards him when he's walking? In this game, does the world feel like it's zooming towards him and he's just, his body's just moving like this, and for his body to move? Is the world moving with regards to things turning for him, or does it feel like he's actually moving? In this game, it feels like he's actually moving rather than the world is zooming towards him. The world is zooming towards him, but he actually feels like he's moving as well. So I gave it points for good movement, but I didn't give it points for regards to movement and the world around him. So back up to 8.8, right? 8.8 again. So I said it before, there are certain things that I missed and certain things that I didn't miss. Flexibility, that makes it easier. Okay, so yeah, and also with regards to collision and prioritizing collision over what was it, over physics, that's something that early development guys in Warframe didn't do, especially with regards to assign Dana and certain attachments on the body of characters. In Doom, because this is FPS, you cannot see his body and what he's attached to his body, such as armor and so on and so forth, or any type of cloak or cape that he has on. There's no such thing like, or even like say Dumacorn. You cannot see if any of those things are going into his skin or that they're actually attached on his body because you're in first person mode. You can only see that when you're in the main hub or when you're in a cutscene. But based on what I've seen for other people's videos, those things are fine and they look exactly like he's wearing them rather than they're attached to his skin. Like they're on him, not that they're part of him. So I'll give it a points for that because I didn't give it points for that before. So now I'm at 8.85. That doesn't really need a full point. You just need to pay attention to the details of that. And also with regards to attachment of weapons, I didn't give it a point for that. So now I'm at 8.9. So weapons, outfits, those things have been addressed. So 8.9 with regards to the game, with regards to collision and with regards to physics and physical movements of objects on characters when the body moves left to right, does the armor move left to right, so on and so forth, or does they stay, are they staggered or in the station formed, crouching, sitting, so on and so forth, do they move the way with regards to how the body moves. So those things are present in the game. Core mechanics, let's see, what are the core mechanics? Prototype, the fundamental movement, attacks, and other core interactions to find fun. Those are also present in the game. Centric move development, the character's weight, ability should be balanced with regards to his appearance and his role. I was curious with regards to that because the Doom guy seems to be move much slower in this game than in Doom 2016, and I realized that now. Why he's moving so slow is because he's a big dude, and he's not just a big dude linebacker type, he's also wearing armor, which should be heavy on him, but he's not wearing that heavy armor that will slow him down a lot. But he is carrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He is carrying 7 weapons on him, and he's carrying bombs and other things on him. So each of these things have weight, so they are considering the Doom guy is pretty strong. He's semi-immortal, so none of these things should really be weighing down on him, and he should be fast at the same time. But if you make him move ridiculously fast, then you kind of lose the realism of a character who have armor on and is big and has lots of weapons. So I do understand why that is in the game, and I did dock it a point for him being slow, but now I'll give it a point for the logic of it being realistic, and it makes sense. Now if he goes really slow, it's due like in Doom Dark Ages. That's because he's wearing even heavier armor and carrying shields and a whole lot of other stuff like mallets. So those things have been addressed in that game as well as in this game. So I'll give it back that point for which I took away from the game. And yeah, now I'm at 8.95. And let's see what else. What else? What else did I miss? What else did I miss? Create a character profile. Was I able to create a character profile with regards to Doom? I was able to attributes, abilities, behaviors. I was able to have attributes attached to my characters. My characters did have abilities, which can be unlocked by runes and so on and so forth. Behaviors outline personality, motivations, and how the character responds to different events. The Doom guy is pretty much stationary. He is who he is. I cannot change his personality or his motivations. He's a character, so I have to dock half a point from that because, or well, not really, because you can't dock half a point from a character being who a character always was. That's who he is. This isn't a character creation profile. He's always been there from the beginning, so I can't dock a point from that. So I'll leave that as is. Best practice for implementation: write clear, consistent coding. Adhere to general software engineering principles to make your code robust and maintainable. Use version control. Use tools like the Git to track changes and collaboration with your team, follow coding standards, and enforce consistent naming conventions and structure for all character related codes. When it matters, avoid premature something something. Instead, use profiling tools to fix performance and bottleneck in your code. Okay, so these are all about bottlenecking things so that you get better performance. So the performance rate with regards to Doom is okay. I didn't see a lot of bottlenecking with regards to when I was fighting certain enemies were bottlenecking me, but I think that was just part of the fun factor of me putting myself in a closed space, and the demons saw it, so they trapped. That's why I didn't give a point for the behavior of the demon with regards to fighting, that they bottleneck me in certain areas, and also with regards to myself bottlenecking and leading demons into certain areas. The game gave me places where I could fight, traverse, and ambush enemies, and the monsters were doing the same thing as well. So I'll give it another point for that, half a point for that to include in the game as well. So the 8.95 is now up to a 9. I told you guys that this game will get to a 9 if you look at every single detail from the very beginning. People who have this game in like the low 8s, they don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. But if you really consider game development from beginning to end, what's always been addressed and what's not addressed, all these things matter in the end. So I'm thinking now I'm going to go towards general software, the software of the game itself. Did it put a lot of strain on my PlayStation? No, it did not. Not any more than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not any more than, say, something like Elden Ring, or something like Resident Evil 2 Remake. Not any more than any other high-profile game with a lot of graphics and stuff. So yeah, and also there is one other thing I missed. Shattering. Let's see. Let me check this out. Capacity, blah, blah, blah. Presets, custom presets, combat, presets of combat. Okay, so this is stuff that I missed or I didn't highlight that much. Presets with regards to notifications on certain presets while in combat, or presets with regards to combat, or presets with regards to explorations. Those are the things that will show up in the HUD. And I didn't put that at all. I either had it at all or custom, and custom would be with regards to something specific I want. But if I wanted presets for only things related to combat to show up, it would show up in my HUD. So yeah, I didn't give it a point for that as well. So that's also a half a point. So 9.5. And let's see, compass. There's a compass, actual compass in the game. So if you get lost and you don't know where to go, the game gives you a compass. But I'm not going to give it a half point for a compass because the compass really wasn't needed. So I'll give it 25% for a compass. Um, didn't realize there was actual compass in the game, so that's 25%. Not really needed, but it's actually in the game as well. Um, Interactive props, interaction prompts, also good, especially if you're on baby mode. Need to know what those interaction prompts are, so that has to be addressed as well. Um, Give it 25% for that as well. Let's see what else. Objective markers, that's always been in there. Weapon info, present. Notifications, I already addressed notifications of all types. Weapon refill numbers, so refill numbers tells you exactly when you need to refill, when you don't need to refill. All these stuff are like stuff added to the game for like baby mode, or for those who've never played the game. You need to see the specifics when the enemy is about to die, how much health and armor they have, um, how when did the level actually increase from the last area. So I'll give it another half point for that as well. So yeah, 25% point for that actually. So now I'm at 1.15. Yeah, and everything I have checked off, I think I'm just gonna give it a half point. Everything I have checked off because I'm not gonna address all of these. So roughly I'm about at 9.2 regards to game. I could address all of them in every single control factor. Anything I have on, I didn't have on. I could address all of them. I address motion blur, I address gamma, I address certain things, but a lot of them, some of them, not all of them, I didn't address. Subtitles, I did address that. Accessibilities, I addressed most of them, but not all of them, such as video filters. I didn't go into video filters. Regards to contrast filters, preplex bright velocity. I didn't go into velocity type of how much I want the brightness is with regards to full screen or regards to normal screen, and do a those motion blur, give it the game more of a realistic feel or take away from the game. And then intensity, strength, and so on and so forth. Some of that stuff have been addressed, others have not. Also, regards to text to chat, on how would text to chat work in this FPS game. It'll probably work best when you're in combat simulation, with regards to horde or regards to player versus player. Um, so that's some of that stuff have not been addressed, so I made sure to give points for that. That's why I'm up to like a 9.2 right now with regards to the game. So systematically, everything has been addressed as well. Um, I think I never addressed the whole milestone thing with regards to the game. I was confusing it with certain things, but milestones weren't fully addressed. What do you have to do at this milestone? What do you have to do it here? But those are also part of the mastery challenge. So I have addressed mastery challenge. Agnostics, I believe I addressed agnostics as well. Actually, I did. Horde, I addressed battle mode. I didn't address ancient gods 1 and 2. They're both DLCs because I don't have it and I'm not playing it, and I won't play it until 2026. So I believe that might be everything I need to address in Doom, basically. Um, and I already addressed the whole New Game Plus thing on the monitor here, with regards to going back to certain places and finding certain things that I might have lost and using cheat codes. All these things have been addressed, and to unlock more cheat codes and find more extra resources, all these things have been addressed. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 levels in the game, and they're all very long. So nothing was short, and everything felt quite long. So I'll give it another half point for the each map area, each plains area, and the tile sets within those plains area were large, long, and it took a while. Each probably felt like 30 minutes a piece or an hour a piece. So if this was an hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If each was an hour apiece, this would have been a 13-hour game. But I know for a fact that some of them were probably longer than an hour. So if you're saying some were an hour and others were 30 minutes and others were maybe an hour and a half, I would say the game is probably roughly, if I'm considering some being longer than an hour, um, depending on how fast you move. I believe if you move fast, it will be about an hour. So the game is anywhere from a 12 to a 13-hour game if you're moving fast. If not, it will probably be a 15-hour game if you're moving slow, and probably an 8-hour game if you're moving super fast. So it really depends on the character you pick, the mode you're picking on. If you're on baby mode, it's probably going to be very short. If you're on Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, it's going to be very long. But I believe the balancing act between Ultra Violent and Baby Mode and Ultra Nightmare Mode is 12-hour game. A 12-hour game. A 10 to 12-hour game is where the balancing act will probably happen between from Hell on Earth all the way to Final Sin. So yeah, 9.25. And I'm trying to think of anything else uh, I missed. Lighting has been addressed. Shattering has been addressed. Certain areas where there were water, that has been addressed. Certain areas where there is debris and sand, that has been addressed. Your ship has been addressed. The map, is it better than 2016? It's more, I believe it's more information with regards to the map rather than Doom 2016 that regards to where items are and how to find items and what are the items within a map locations or set locations. So the pan, rotate, and stuff is still present, but I believe they included items found within there. I didn't see that before, and it was more rather than levels in Doom 2016. It's more present with regards to one stationary window and items located within stationary window, which is more easier than trying to go from level to level. Um, so yeah, things I would say in comparison to Doom 2016, they improved slightly with regards to menu mechanics and everything else. So yeah, so that's 9.2. I'll still keep it at 9.25 because I addressed all those things already. Let's see what else. Codex. The story of the Sentinels have been addressed. The type of enemies have been addressed. You click on them. There's a little story with regards to them. Um, yeah, so I believe everything in Codex have been addressed. Arsenal tutorials have been addressed, and all different types. Weapon refills, ruins, how you use ruins types, armors, items, and if certain things have not been unlocked when you play the game again, you will get points, and then you're able to fully give points to those things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only need 9 more Sentinel coins in order to unlock these. So only 9 more, which should be no problem in New Game Plus to fully beat it. Of course, sound effects and movement and certain things clanking and certain, yeah, all this stuff has been addressed. Lighting, lighting variations, dynamic lighting, all that stuff has sound effects. Um, in and out, in and out. How many you shot off? I shot 1 off. Shot 2 off. Shot 3 off. The game is showing you how much of what you've expended before you're fully out, and then you have to load again. So the reload time of your stuff is pretty fast. The reload time of your micro missiles is ridiculously fast. As I go the same for there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already with just that one load of micro missiles is equivalent to 5 micro missiles type. 2, 3, 4. And then load again, and then you could do it again. And same goes for super shotgun. Same goes for ballista. The charge time for ballista, once you've unlocked the perk for that, it's pretty fast. Like if you fully unlock ballista's capabilities, which is with regards to how fast the ballista can work, increase the size of arc blast, increase the movement of the ballista, and then here it's max charge of destroyer mod, emits a blast wave that falters demons, and then this one is destroyer charge decreased by 20%. So yeah, so even with the fact that I haven't decreased the charge by 20%, the load time for pointing towards an enemy seems slow, especially when they're coming after you. And also, there's one thing I forgot to address. His movement with regards to this, he can move this, but the moment he's charging the ballista, puts a lot of force on his body, limits his movement because there's a lot of force on his body just to stabilize it. So he could hardly move. He's just trying to maintain the weapon. It's putting a huge strain on his body, and he cannot move until he fires it off. See? So now he could fire it off, and that basically kills all enemies. So that has not been addressed. How the ballista works has been addressed, but his movement with regards to using that weapons and it stunning his movement speed, that has not been addressed. So 9.25, I would say that for all the weapons combined together, 9.25. And I believe that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. There's music in the game. You could use any of the music, any types of music. But all these have been addressed. All of them have been addressed. And you cannot turn them on, listen to them until you start the game again, which is Hell on Earth, or from whatever level you started on, and then you have access to turn them on again. You cannot just turn them on. I would say that's kind of a sucky thing. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to have to start the game again to access them. So yeah, I would say there's still some hit and miss in the game, so I have to dock it a half of, not a half a point, more like a quarter of a point for that. So, you know, I'm still at a 9.25, because that's kind of sucky. And I'm pretty sure there's probably one or two other things that suck. So, but in general, it'll probably stationary. The game overall will be at a 9.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Hell on Earth. I'm going to see, will it allow me to pick a higher difficulty in Hell on Earth, or will it just be Hell on Earth on Ultraviolent again? I believe it might be Hell on Earth on Ultraviolent again until I decide to play the game from the beginning on Nightmare mode, and then I'm able to beat the game again on Nightmare mode and collect everything over again on Nightmare mode. So the New Game Plus for the mode that you're in, whether it's Baby mode or Ultra Nightmare or Ultra Violent, is only New Game Plus for you to go back and collect anything that you missed. So you're playing the game over again because you want to play it over again on the mode that you were on, but mainly just to pick up things that you
Against
missed.
all the
And can I skip? Now, there's one thing I did not put with regards to the game yet, which is social. I did not put anything with regards to social. I did not go over this whatsoever. Parties, favorites, friends, recent. So, if I have a friend that's playing the game, or several friends that are playing the game, I could invite them into the game, and I could log what level we're going to play at as our favorite, and I could set up party chat within the game, single player, from other people playing the game as well. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I could look up certain friends who have played the game before and see that they're in. So I'll give it a half point for that. It's not that, actually not even a half point, 25% of a point, because That's not really needed in this game. It's a single player game. So that 25% I took away from the game, it just came back to the game. So I'm back up 9.25. So yeah, I could resume the game. I could check settings while in the cutscene menu. That's also, I didn't address that as well. I could stop a cutscene, go to settings, increase the audio, increase the video, just so I could hear it perfectly and the way I want. So that's all. That's very good actually, because sometimes before you even continue a game, especially if you're streaming, you want to know how things are going. And yeah, that's extremely good. So yeah, 9.3. 9.3. The game is a 9.3 right now. And I'm not even bullshitting or taking anything away from the game or giving any favoritism here. I'm just looking at everything, single thing I missed, and docking the game anything that still might be shitty or not present in the game, such as the sword not hitting certain things and impact with regards to bombs and stuff, hurting the Doomslayer. But you know, there's no balance with regards to the weapons as well, and of course idling. He has no idling, so I took points away from the game for that while he's in the game itself. So yeah, 9.3. I believe that's fair assessment.
All that hell can conjure.
I can't skip this, even
All
though...
the wickedness that mankind...
Okay, so I can't skip. I beat the game, but there's no skip button for going back to Hell on Earth, even though I beat the game. So, yeah, 9.2, 9.2275.
can produce. We will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Now it can skip. Okay, so there is a skip button. Never mind, 9.3. Okay, so basically it's telling me that everything I've collected is here. Everything I beat in the area was there. So this is going to be hotspot again, and demons are going to be here. So it's showing me everything I've done already. So yep, so it's kind of like I'm still in New Game Plus, even though I played the game already. Yeah, and I can skip, so I don't need to do this again. I'm already here. But like I said, I've given it points for being able to have all my weapons and the fun factor of having weapons.
I've located the precinct and will mark it on your HUD.
Now the game, this is where the game truly begins, because you're starting the game all over with everything within your arsenal. You have everything on you. Most of your suit stuff have been unlocked. Most of your weapons have been unlocked. So it is very much like a New Game Plus. Alright, so I'm gonna exit out of here. So that being the end of this assessment of Doom 2000 and Doom, not 2016, but Doom Eternal. That's my 30-minute, a little bit over 30 minutes due to internet acting up, assessment of the Doom game and everything present in this Doom game, from its stationary main screen character model designs to its unique art styles to its lighting effects to I didn't get into particle effects in that great detail, so but I did address a portion of particle effects, so I think I should give it 9.325 for particle effects on everything, including winds. So yeah, but overall I would say the game, give or take, is 9.3. There could be more stuff I'm missing, such as how they carve out the model with regards to curvatures of text and how they put certain text within certain windows, and coding with regards to hyperlinks to get to those things outside the game, but that's pretty much it. Doom 2000 or Doom Eternal is a 9.3 game. I said it was an 8.8, but I did say I missed certain things, and today those certain things have been addressed. Everything from collision, everything for your sword not bouncing off certain things, everything with regards to Doom hurting himself, everything with regards to particle effects, and the 10 commandments of gaming, so on and so forth. So those things have all been addressed, and in the end the game came up to a 9, just like I said it would. So the balancing act between a 9.3 and where I said it was an 8.5 if you didn't like the game, what would a 8.5 to a 9.3 be? You know, it'll be 8.9 or a 9. So this game is a 9. Even without my consent, is a 9. So good. I'm now going to change the game in this video to a 9 because it's much better than I thought. Everything worked the way it should work. And of course, there's no NPCs, and you can't look at your character while you're in the game because it's a first person, so those things have also been addressed as well. Especially physics and collisions. Those things have also been addressed, and the hardware, how long it takes to load something, and is it pressure on your computer, your PlayStation, things have been addressed. It's less than that of, let's say, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So yeah, it's a good game. Shattering, all that stuff have been addressed. So Doom is a 9 game. Anyone who says this game is in the 7 or is in the low 8s is a big fat fibber, because they didn't look at every single goddamn thing. I'm no video game coder, but I looked at majority of, I would say half of the things that coders do with regards to the game. Or if not even half, I looked at 25% of the things that coders do, and the other 25% that are non-coders that are expected from the fans to the coders, the developers. So yep, I did a good job with regards to this one. I went over this one in more detail than I did to do 2016. I had to make sure that this game was 9 like I thought it was, and it is a 9. So because even if you doubt those 3 additional points I gave to the game because you're prejudiced or you're discriminatory, or or you find even more faults, the game will still fall into like the mid 8s to low 9s territory. So if this game is like low 8s, now that person didn't do his homework. So that's it. Doom is a 9.3 game. That's it. I'm out. I'm gonna put it in my description. Today was just me talking about everything I missed, everything that the game, coding, color skins, everything that I thought, everything, wind effects, particle effects, reaction time, movement speed, all that stuff that I didn't address was addressed in this video. So Doom is a 9 game. Anyone who says this game is in a low 8, that person is a fool and didn't do